Hi, this is Andy here at Orbit Media Studios, and this video is 21 tips for getting started at content marketing. This is my best advice for the beginners, and it's based on a lot of experience and talking to a lot of people, just thinking carefully about what we should be doing to get off on the right foot. So step one is to set the foundation. And my first recommendation here, is to document your content marketing mission statement so that you know what you're publishing and you know who you're writing for, and you know what's in it for them. So that benefit to the reader, it's really important as a content marketer to define that upfront and in advance. My second tip is to set your domain name once and for all. Don't make it something .wordpress.com, and definitely don't focus all your publishing on another platform like YouTube. Own the foundation. Make sure that you own your own domain and that you don't change it around a lot, because it's confusing for Google if you change your domain. So set your domain once and for all. It's going to avoid a lot of problems in the future. Next, we need to create systems to stay organized. We need a mechanism for capturing our new ideas and for documenting our half-published thoughts, a way and a system for keeping all of our content together and making sure that we're very productive and that we've got a place to keep things. All those half-written posts and half-baked ideas, we need a way to kind of keep all that stuff together. Set those systems up in the beginning, and it's going to save you a lot of trouble on the back end. The fourth tip is to set up analytics properly. In the long run here, we're trying to meet goals. And in digital marketing, a goal is a thank you page. It's when the visitor took an action. It's when they did something that helps you. For example, they subscribed to your newsletter, or they became a lead, or they bought a product. Now, making sure that your website is set up so that there's thank you pages for every one of these profitable actions and desired outcomes is really going to make it easier for you in the end to measure the results, to know what worked and what didn't, to know which sources of traffic are the most likely to give you the things that you need in your marketing. One of those things that we need to do in our next tip is about setting up your email sign-up forms to maximize the percentage of people who take action. Really, really important. Even from the very first article that you publish or the very first thing that you do in marketing, that email sign-up box should be really engaging. It should tell people what they're going to get and how often. So definitely make sure that you optimize your email sign-up forms to maximize the percentage of people who subscribe, because email marketing is going to give you a lot more control in the future. We can't totally rely on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Google. The sixth tip is to make sure that you polish your LinkedIn profile until it sparkles. This is an important thing because we're going to be doing a lot of outreach here in a minute, and we need to make sure that that thing is like an A or an A+ in every category. From your headshot to the description, your summary, all those things, your skills, endorsements, recommendations, that thing should look good because it's an important part of your personal brand, and you're going to be doing a lot of outreach and a lot of networking here, and that center of your brand, if you search for your name, it may even rank high. It's really, really important, and it's worth the time to take a couple of hours and make that thing a minor masterpiece of personal branding. For the seventh tip, we recommend that you don't pay too much attention to technology. Don't worry too much. Don't buy expensive products. Definitely do not spend money on marketing automation. You don't need it. And you don't need for every system to connect to every other system. There's not that much benefit in connecting these things quite yet. So don't choose an expensive content management system because it connects to your email provider. All these things can be done manually at first. Don't worry about automation until you've done these things manually many times. Don't spend a lot of money on technology. Now, for the second set of tips, it's time to make first content. We're going to publish something. And my first piece of advice is to make something awesome. Is to build up an awesome piece of pillar content, that cornerstone thing that gives away all of your best advice. It goes deep into the topic, it covers it from every angle, and it's something that you probably like to publish anyway, that you feel strongly about, right? Publish something great, go deep on something first, because now you're gonna have something to share and talk about on social media. You're gonna have something to link to if you get mentioned by someone else on another website, right? You've got something that's rank-worthy and share-worthy and link-worthy and subscribe-worthy. Publish something big in the beginning. It's going to make things much easier for you in the end. A lot of marketers made the mistake of not putting out that big piece of content early. Next, we need to plan for visuals. It can't just be text. Text isn't going to cut it in the long run. The web is so visual that we can't ignore this channel. plan on diagrams or illustrations or some kind of great photography or video or something. We have to have visual content. It's just a dominant form in social media and everywhere else. So make sure that we have a plan in the future for very visual content. It's going to be much more engaging for our audience. Next, it's time to start doing outreach and time to start writing on other people's websites. We can't just publish everything on our own site. That's not going to work. We have to get out there and do outreach and submit and pitch and try to get things published other places. You're going to grow your audience much faster if you borrow the audience of other people by having something useful and helpful. One of your best pieces really should be published other places. So probably in the beginning, most of your content maybe should be out there on other sites. Now for the third set of tips, it's time to start building our network. The function of growth is the function of the network. The size and quality, the people that we connect with is going to make a big difference for us in the long run. And we need to roll out the red carpet and give our early readers just a white glove treatment and just make them all VIPs. This is a crazy idea, it sounds, but it's a benefit that you have as a beginning marketer that not everyone can do, which is to email each of your readers personally. Think of it, just email them all. Just talk to all of them, right? Some of the pros did this early and they built huge networks from this and learned a lot. They listened a lot. They made good decisions and built strong connections by listening carefully to their audience and reaching out to each of them personally. Only beginner marketers can do that. I even recommend, and for our next tip, I think you should get together with people face to face. I really like to emphasize the offline networking. It's very powerful. Connect with people in your community or meet with people, coffee, lunch, beer, whatever, like get together. It's going to be more fun and it's going to lead to some high quality connections that can actually sort of turbocharge your initial growth. Be close to your audience and you're going to be building some high value connections, right? Some high touch connections. And now that you know them, for our next tip, I recommend writing content specifically for this tiny audience that you start with. It's gorgeous and it's fun. You can actually write things specifically for certain readers because you know who they are. This is going to help your writing quality immensely because you're going to start thinking about an actual person who's reading. It's not just for a huge faceless crowd. We're writing for actual individual readers, and writing for your specific readers is going to help you be very personal in your tone. Extremely important for content marketing. Next, I recommend getting quotes from these readers or getting quotes from other people early on. Collaborative content marketing is the best way to get results. You're going to grow your quality, you're going to grow your network, you're going to grow your traffic because they're likely to share it. Get quotes from other people and fill your content with quotes, contributor quotes. It's fun and it's very powerful. For the next tip, I recommend in personal face-to-face conversations, inviting people to join your email list one at a time in face-to-face meetings. This sounds crazy. This works really well. The first 1,000 subscribers that we got were from meetings here in this room, just people that we met, telling them about our content, talking about it, triggering that word of mouth. So invite people to join your email list personally. Tell them what you write about and ask them if they'd like to be on the list. They can always unsubscribe if they get bored with it later. I also recommend sending a lot of personal thank you notes. Get out a pen, lick a stamp, and use the forgotten inbox. If someone helped you in some way, reach out to them specifically, send them a card. Trust me, very few marketers do this, and it's going to create a really strong impression of you because you took the time to do what 99% of people never do. Again, something that's really powerful that beginner marketers can get great value from. It's just not that hard. Now, while we're giving value to get value later, I want to recommend responding to every single comment you get and treat them all lovingly because they're important. Never let a comment go by without answering it, especially in the beginning, because you're actually listening, you're talking, you're starting to trigger a conversation. It's really important, so pay very close attention to comments. Blog comments are networking opportunities, and half of our goal here in the beginning is to grow our network. For number 18, we recommend commenting on other people's blogs. Get out there, that stuff you're reading, that good stuff, get out there and write on it. Go out there and contribute. Go out there and give a thoughtful response. You'll get the visibility of the author and you'll start conversations. You'll become aware to people that you might want to collaborate with later. It's really powerful networking to leave thoughtful comments on other people's blogs. And just thank people everywhere. If someone shared something of yours in LinkedIn, go find them on Twitter and thank them there. Crossing the streams, this is going to grow your network faster. They're very likely to share it on that other network because you know they liked it, they read it, they shared it on this other place. So actually thank people everywhere, especially when they share and comment. Jump across and jump to another social network and thank them over there. It's going to build your connections. You'll have multiple connections with these people, and they're very likely to share it in that other place. For our last two tips, I want to remind you of things that you rarely hear, that you knew as a kid, but that people don't talk about that often. One, we're trying hard to get future benefits. That's the point of content marketing. It's very slow, but these are durable advantages when we grow them. So we have to really set our activity levels high in the beginning. Work very hard up front. Study like it's finals week. Get to bed early and get up early and work hard. Put in a good hour or plus before any of your colleagues wake up. This is going to give you an advantage. Put in extra time and effort, right? Turn off the Xbox and cancel cable and work your butt off in the beginning. I highly recommend this. Most people don't do it because it's hard work, but I'm recommending hard work. So set your activity levels very high, especially in the beginning. And finally, to keep from getting discouraged, this is the last tip. And it's a quote from John Acuff. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. There are people who are getting amazing results in content marketing. And to compare your results to their results is just discouraging. Compare your tactics to their tactics, learn from them, learn from experts in what they're doing. But don't look at other people's followings or results and expect that to be something that it gets kind of discouraging. So I recommend just focusing on your own results. Don't try to be better than them, try to be better than you were yesterday. And grow this slowly because it really does take time. So that's it. Those are our top 21 tips for beginning content marketers. We hope you find this useful. And if you do, feel free to share it with anyone that you know, and we'd be grateful if you would like more. You're welcome to subscribe it with the link below. Again, this is Andy from Orbit Media. See you next time.